Welcome to the Brokers Open Podcast. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by our friends at Palm Media. Palm Media is a boutique digital marketing company built for realtors by realtors. They help agents and teams dominate a target market with specific, tailored strategies. Everything from video, chatbots, landing pages, Facebook ads, database management, and coaching. And oh my gosh, it is way more affordable and simple than you could ever imagine. Call now for 100% free strategy session, whether you have a budget or not. Dr. Ben, my good friend, will make sure that you are heading in the right direction, building your presence online, or flat out crushing your competition. Before you spend a dime on marketing, door knocking, or sending out postcards, call Palm Media, 813-765-7706. 813-765-7706. Or click the link in the description below. Manifest your paradise. Howdy, Matt. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Another day in paradise.
Beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Beautiful day to make money. Beautiful day to make a podcast.
Always a beautiful day for a podcast, right?
Quick drink here.
I love the collaboration. Love the sharing, baby.
It's fun. This is a good medium for us to kind of express stuff that questions we get in our daily lives, either from our agents or from our, you know.
Be able to help.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it.
What are we talking about today?
So you kind of mentioned it already. You said it's a great day to make money, or you said it's a great day for something about money. So we get questions all the time, right? People are asking about people are asking about, how do we generate leads, whether I'm a new agent or I've got, a team and I need to step it up a little bit and all that kind of stuff. What's a not only a cost-effective way, but what is also a scalable way of being able to get more business. So
we get asked this. I mean, honestly, almost on a daily basis, Matt and I get asked, what the most cost-effective way to generate leads are, and if we had the exact formula for every single person,
right. We bottle it.
Right. But I think there are definitely some basic tools to success when it comes to cost-effective ways to market. I know personally in my past and on teams that I've been on in the past and owning my own company in the past, I have spent money in several different arenas, whether that's, Zillow leads, things like that, whatever it might be. I have spent it, and I've spent it in the wrong spot. So I think we're good resources when it comes to that.
Completely agree.
So brand new agent comes to you, Matt, and says, hey, I'm glad my license is over here at Berkshire Hathaway. I understand all the tools and resources and training and everything like that, but that's all good and great. But my goal this year is to sell $3 million in my first year. What's the most cost-effective way for me to get my, aircraft off the ground?
So I love having that conversation with them, but we gotta take a step back from what they're really trying to accomplish, right? So, which is the tough part, because they're in class and they're watching podcasts and they're hearing people and everything, and they're hearing get the leads going, right? So if they're not prepared to deal with the leads, it doesn't matter how many they get, right? So they gotta be trained, right? You could have 8 billion flood in. If you suck, 8 billion are gonna flood back out, right? The second thing is they need to kind of understand, so what actually is a lead? Now, and there's a couple of podcasts back we talked about vocabulary and the difference it made and what a lead was in a contact and prospect and all that kind of stuff. And you don't have to use our definition of it, but you have to be, especially if you're a team lead, you have to be very well defined on what those things are with the people on your team.
That's right.
Right. So whenever people walk in and they're in a coaching session, they say, hey Matt, I need to generate more leads. I ask them what they think a lead is. Is it top of funnel lead, middle of funnel, or bottom of funnel lead, right? So top of funnel lead means, so this is probably the best way to explain this. Somebody's flipping through Facebook, and as they're flipping through Facebook, they're looking at cats playing the piano, and they're looking at whatever it is, Gary Vee, and they're looking at all this other crap and everything, and this house pops up, or an ad that says, do you like this kitchen better, or do you like this one better, right? And they click on that. And they check the survey. I really like the rustic kitchen versus the contemporary one, right? Okay, is that a lead? So depending on how you define it, it could be, right? That's completely different than somebody that has now signed into Zillow and says, this is the criteria of what I'm looking for.
Correct.
Which is completely different than somebody that has walked into an open house and said, we just lost our contract. We have to be in the school zone. The last day to be in the school zone is next Tuesday.
Right.
It's Saturday. I need a freaking house today.
That's bottom of the funnel.
That's bottom of the funnel. So when you're talking to people, you have to help them understand that where they get the lead from makes all the difference in the world of what type of lead it is, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right?
So start trying to qualify that. So when you hear people about getting leads, or you yourself are accepting leads and getting leads throughout your business, understand that you need to, as soon as you meet somebody or as soon as you're going back to the office with the information, you need to quickly be able to categorize them really quick and
100%.
put them in different buckets.
Absolutely, because the top of funnel lead that said, hey, I like this kitchen better than the other one. If you say, you know what, I'd really like to set you up on a home search, man, you just lost them,
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
The bottom of the funnel people, if you say, oh, well, great, what kind of kitchen do you like? To those people, they're going to be like, I got to go. I told you Tuesday.
Right.
Tuesday was the deadline. I need to be in the school zone. So you have to, your follow-up and how you deal with it's going to be different. So number one, you need to identify what a lead really is to you and where they are in the process.
Right.
Okay. So once they get that kind of figured out, so there's a real simple way that I like to explain it. It's either now or future business.
Yeah.
Right. So now means next 30 days I got to write a contract.
Correct.
Future business means at some point later I'll write a contract after the 30-day point. So when you're talking to people, you want to kind of qualify them. Are they now or future business? The other thing is, as you're putting people into your funnel, you have to take a serious look at what you're trying to accomplish with your business. Now, you gave the $3 million in volume example, right? That's probably somebody that needs more now business than future business.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm using Back at You Media, or if I'm using one-to-one or whatever it is, and I put all my eggs in that basket, that I want to get a lot of business from there, or if I'm going to Zillow and I'm only paying for a little bit of the neighborhood or whatever, however that's working, these days, then I know that that's more future business that I'm dealing with. That's not going to be somebody that's ready right now.
Quickly, a lot of people understand when you're talking about leads and where your clients are, is you hear the word pipeline a lot.
Right.
And so when Matt's talking about the funnel, picture the pipeline when you're thinking about the funnel. I think the funnel is a better way, a more measurable way to start looking at things when you talk about the different sections of the funnel. But you're often going to hear, you got to have people in your pipeline in order to make it work in this business and have a longevity in this business. But pipeline to me is very vague. You can throw somebody who's ready to buy in the next 10 years in a pipeline, but you could also throw somebody in there that's ready to buy tomorrow. The important use of the funnel in differentiating the different factors of the funnel. So understand that difference, but go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic point. Yes, 100%. Yeah, so again, that goes back to the vocabulary, right? You got to know. You have to understand when you're taking information in, you have to understand what it means to you and how the person was portraying the information, how they meant it, in order for you to get as much value from it as possible. Right. So absolutely fantastic, fantastic point. So we want to make sure that, so if, as an example, we're trying to put people into our funnel, and we need to make $3 million right now, right? We're going to have, if we have like 5 different places that we're getting business from, and we'll touch on that in just a second. If we've got 5 different places that we're getting business from, if I need money now, then 3 of those things are going to be now business funnels, or now business buckets to add to the funnel.
Let's talk about those.
Okay. And then the other 2 might be future business.
Okay.
Right? If it's somebody that is really established and they know they have their sphere already, they might say that there's 3 other things that are future business buckets, and 2 of them might be now business.
That's right.
Okay. So let's talk about those 3 real quick. So if you're not doing open houses, if you're brand new, if you're experienced, if you're a team leader, if you're whatever, and you're not doing open houses, you're missing it, okay?
Completely.
So open houses are not just the person walking in the door buying the house. It's not just the nosy neighbor. It's not just somebody that is sneaking in because they were thinking about buying and they're trying to grab your flyer that has the price per square foot on. I mean, there's so many different things of what it is, right?
Yeah.
An open house, most importantly for everyone, is an opportunity to interface with the public and have relevant real estate conversations.
That you would have never had without it.
Right.
It's so simple.
It is. So absolutely open houses would be one thing that I would be doing a lot of.
And here's what I like about open houses, especially for new agents. New agents get, a big thing with us when we bring somebody on is there's a lot of training and resources and everything thrown at them all at once. And so it's almost like drinking from a fire hose a little bit.
Yep.
And they're almost a little, I feel, a little timid to get out there and kind of expose themselves. What's interesting about open houses, and I encourage this, is an open house is a really, really good opportunity to understand where your strengths and your weaknesses lie.
Completely agree.
It's almost like a live audition, and guess what? If you screw something up at an open house, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's all right. Will you miss out on a client? There's a chance that you do. Yeah. But you know what? I don't think in terms of real, relatable, real estate daily life, there's a better place to learn than an open house.
Completely agree.
I mean, you're learning how to interact with a real consumer. You're learning how to show a house. You're learning about different structures of houses, why this house has value and why this doesn't. And all of a sudden, you're learning this on the fly. And then you're also learning, okay, this is what I need to get better brushed up on. I need to understand the market in the area a little bit better, because that person who came through the open house said, oh, the one over on Hibiscus is this. And then I was befuddled. Right? So
That's right.
Being exposed and being vulnerable is so important, and I would say throw yourself into the open house straight away.
Absolutely, over and over, often throw yourself into it.
And that's an opportunity that you need to be looking for within your brokerage and within your team or whatever have you. Just because you don't have a listing doesn't mean that you can't take on open houses. It could be, you know, more times than not, you know, 9.5 times out of 10, it's going to be somebody within your office. But don't be afraid to go out there and ask to sit open houses. It's just foolish.
It is. And hopefully you're in an environment that fosters that, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're around people that want to see you succeed at that level. There's plenty of business for the people that want to work. There's no shortage of it, okay? I don't care what market we're in. For the people that want to work, there's plenty of business. Can you shift and adapt to what's going on is the question, right? So open houses are absolutely a fantastic one, right? So there's a couple of other easy ones that I'd consider low-hanging fruit, okay? Before we get into one or two of those, depending on the company that you're with, most companies these days have a website.
Yeah.
Most companies, a lot of companies are branded, okay? A lot of companies belong to referral networks, right? So there might be some opportunity within the company that you're at, okay? Yeah. So a perfect example of that is, you know, Brookfield or Cardis or whoever, you know, USAA or whatever. There's a lot of opportunities that you can go after that are referral opportunities that you can get. Most of those relationships, because of the expectation, are going to be attached to a company versus an individual agent.
Right.
As an individual agent, though, do you know somebody that's in the school system that works with a school, you know, the HR person or whoever it is? You know, start rolling up your sleeves, looking at those type of people to see if there's any way that you can get a more corporate type of referral to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So corporate referrals are more typically from a corporation to a brokerage. But you can, as an agent, you can go in and do that, but it makes it difficult for you to compete if a brokerage does catch wind of it. They're going to come in and try to offer more at a higher level and all that kind of stuff, right? So absolutely you should go after it, but go talk to your broker. Is there any opportunity that I can get this business, or is there any opportunity that, you know, do we have incoming referrals, and what can I do, and what certifications do I need, right? Then there's organizations that you can join, okay? So you can join REBAC. You know, you can get, you know, different types of certifications that will offer WCR, Women's Council of Realtors. You know, you can be part of that, and you can get some opportunities from those pretty quick. Get your continuing ed, your post licensing all knocked out at the same time while you're throwing your hat into that arena, right?
Yeah.
You're you know, you're 30 under 30. You know, we've had a couple of people on there. There's referral networks with 30 under 30.
Huge referral network.
So there's all kinds of other referral network opportunities, but you need to start asking. You need to start having those questions, right?
And that's a point that I want to harp on a little bit here, is that a lot of newer agents are hesitant to ask the right questions in the right places. And something that got me off the ground straight away when I first got my real estate license was simply going around the office to different teams and to different single agents especially. So there's going to be plenty of agents in their maturity cycle that have been in the business 10, 20, 30, 40 years that do it by themselves with or without an assistant. And the one thing that new agents and experienced agents alike do not do is go to them and say, hey, if you ever can't handle a lead, or if you ever need assistance with the lead, I want to be your guy. And that worked for me right out the gate. I mean, I had no network when I first got my real estate license, but I went over and said, hey, listen, if you ever need help on a real estate transaction, I'm here to help. I'm here to learn. I want to go on appointments with you. I want to hold this open house for you. But if you're ever in a jam where you can't handle a lead, or the lead isn't in your price range, or whatever that might be, I will take the lead.
Absolutely.
And people don't do that.
Yep. And that personal referral opportunities from agent to agent. So did you move from somewhere else and come to the area that you're in? You might have known real estate agents there. You might have known lenders there. You might have known other people there.
So smart.
Call them up and say, hey, don't just put something on Facebook and put something on LinkedIn and say, I'm in real estate now and you need to send people my way, and then forget about it. Go connect with those people, pick up the phone, have conversations with them, talk to them, engage, spend part of your morning enjoying the conversation, talking about who you are and what you do with people that you know. Some of those people are going to have some opportunity for you. They're going to point you in the right direction. I promise you're going to get some nuggets from them.
And that's the easiest bit of money you can make. That was my first paycheck in real estate ever, was a referral from where I was doing real estate down in Fort Myers back up to where I originally lived. My very first commission check was just a referral. That was it. It was that easy.
100% believe it.
I mean, just think, just because you move from Toledo to Tampa, Florida, doesn't mean that you can't use that network for income. It's silly.
100% agree.
Yeah.
And people think that, so, and I know most everybody knows this, right? But if you're in Tampa, Florida, and you've got a friend that lives in New York, and you got a friend that lives in California, or the friend that's in New York is moving to California, refer it out, refer it out.
Right.
Not only do you refer those two out, but now you start having conversations with those agents in both of those markets. Hey, listen, when you bump into somebody that wants to come to Tampa, Florida, do me a favor, hit me up, call me, talk, right?
Yeah.
Have those conversations. Don't just say, hey, here's the referral, and then go back to working on your website, okay? Go get connected, stay connected, send them the follow-up card, say, thanks for taking good care of my brother's friend, sister's cousin's dog. They loved you. Whatever the situation is, have that connection and expand that connection.
Right.
Do more with them. So referrals are a huge way of doing it.
Open houses, referrals.
Absolutely, those are critical ways. Now we can talk about getting buying leads, right? So agents always want to ask if they can buy leads. So certainly they can. You can purchase leads. I'm not a big fan of it, right?
More times than not, that's going to be a top of funnel lead, and that kind of could be its own subject in and of itself.
Yeah.
But in terms of just quick, easy ways, cost-effective ways, I don't necessarily look at buying leads online as a cost-effective way.
Right.
There are actual websites out there online, whether you understand it or not, is that there are referral websites out there that you can become a part of, and it's a small subscription per year, or you pay the company a referral fee on it, whatever that might be, is a simple way to go about it. One thing that worked for me when I was young was I would make a habit of every morning, instead of having my coffee at the office, I would have coffee at the local Panera Bread. And I would get there at the same time, leave there at the same time, so people would see me every day there. And what I would do is I'd pick the table. If I can get close to the door, that's what I wanted. And I would lay out MLS sheets on the table. I'd have my computer open, looking at the MLS, studying the market, and then I'd be writing handwritten notes over here. So what you're doing is you're captivating an audience that's walking by going, I'm really curious what this guy's up to, or whatever's going on. And I promise you, this is no BS. I actually got a client that way. And that client led to, I can't tell you how much business, but that is a simple way. You're buying a $2 coffee somewhere anyway, right? Why not do it and try to get some business out of it and do your prospecting while...
I love it. Absolutely fantastic idea.
So that's a simple way.
And it's also forcing you to do certain things. We're big on having a ritual in the morning. It's forcing you to do certain things a certain way. The next thing you know, you're walking in, everybody's yelling Norm. So, and I know you know this, and this probably came up in this situation. Once you're in there every day, you get to know the staff. Yeah. And if you get to know the staff, I think it's Brian Buffini that does the mayor of Shoptown type of thing, right? So you get to know the staff, and you start talking to them, and you're nice to them, and you're tipping them well, and you're making sure you're not leaving a mess whenever you get up and everything, and they ask you what you do. You got your name badge on.
It's awesome.
Pretty soon somebody's going to say, oh yeah, well so and so's getting ready to buy and sell, or whatever it is, or you're going to have the person that's in there say, well, Justin comes in every morning. I'll ask him next time he comes in. I'll get a business card from him the next time he comes in.
It's so easy. Don't ever overlook anybody like that. Another person that you can ask for leads from, be super nice to security guards. There are a million security guards, whether you live in a gated community or at condo associations. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten referral from security guards just by taking an extra little bit of time, asking how their day's going, simple stuff like that.
You will, You take some damn cookies to a security guard with your business card on it.
Good point.
Once every couple of weeks. Look out, man.
Yeah.
You know they're going to, I mean, what security guard doesn't love a cookie, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to drop that off and say, hey, I know you're working all day. I really appreciate this. Anybody comes in, says they're looking for a real estate agent, I'd love the chance to help them out. If you ever get short on cookies, just call that number and I'll stop by with some cookies. What are they going to say?
Boom.
Yep, they're going to say thank you. They're going to appreciate it. They're going to appreciate being appreciated, right?
So cost effective. I mean, those items right there couldn't get more cost effective.
Absolutely.
Here's something too that you should take note of when, in terms of especially getting off the ground and building your database so that you can take these leads that were really cost effective and really turning them into a powerhouse. Is I want every agent to receive more business cards than they give out. Yep. The reason, or an equal distribution. Yep. Okay. The reason is you have the power of communication when you obtain that business card. Whenever I obtain a business card from somebody, and I could be sitting at lunch at Pajano's with Matt, and we meet somebody, I get their business card. Guess what's going in the mail the next day? A handwritten note to their business. They're a accountant down the street. Great to meet you at Pajano's the other day. Really great chatting with you.
Yep.
In the mail.
If I can do anything to help.
Boom.
Yep. I love it. So that leads into another huge one is BNI, network groups, stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Rotary clubs.
Rotary club. There's so many things that are really connected to you being part of the community. And here's the main thing that I'll caution you on about this. If you are trying to just go in there to get business, they're going to ferret you out. You're not gonna. It's not going to happen. If you're in there to just take, the worst thing that could happen to you is you be successful with that. Yeah. This is not a business that you can just be in it to take, right?
That's right.
This is, you got to be able to collaborate. You got to be able to help other people out. So if you go in there and you're like, if you don't want to be part of Rotary, if you don't like what they do, then don't go join Rotary. If you like business, go to BNI, go to NPI, go to whatever it is that it's called in your neck of the woods.
And if you're in it for that, this is probably not the podcast for you. If it's the quick buck or the quick transaction turnover, honestly, I'm not interested in teaching that. I'm not interested in agents who want to be a part of something like that. What we're talking about is building a real career, building a real business, and building it around a community. Because if you are 100%. That trusted advisor in a community, that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to I have choice words for those types of people. Yeah, we don't. So, and ultimately, the reason why is because the customer deserves you being connected with them a certain way. That's the way that we look at it. So I'm gonna go through a quick experience here real quick, and this doesn't really have to do with leads, but it does. So yesterday went to the doctor's office. So if you know me and everything, I'm always on the go. I don't sit still, right? That's just not me. And so I make an appointment to go to the doctor's office yesterday at 3:45. That was the only time I could get. It's time for the annual checkup. I wanted to go in and get the right thing done, right? Cough.
So no, man. So I show up, and at 5:15, I walk up to the desk, and I said, "You skipped me again." This is the second appointment. About 3 weeks ago, again, they don't have any early morning appointments for me. 3 weeks ago, I go in at 3 o'clock, and about 4:50, I walk up to the counter and I'm like, "Hey, did I miss something?" Go up there, what's right. So the lady behind the counter that time was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I thought you went back and whatever and everything, and let me refund your money and all that." So okay, right. So I come back yesterday. Same exact thing happens, and so I said, "You skipped me again." The lady behind the counter says, "What's your last name?" So there's 4 people in the lobby, right? At the height of all of this, there's maybe 7 people in the lobby. I'm not expecting her to love me and send me flowers and whatever, okay? I'm not. But I am expecting her that as people come in for something as important as a doctor, to kind of try to pay attention to what's going on with the flow of people. I think that is basic level.
It's basic level customer service, humanity.
So I give her my last name. I said, "It's Veigh. And she pulls the folder down and everything, and she looks at me and says, "We didn't forget you." And I said, "Well, I sure as hell would have loved somebody to walk out and say, 'Hey, we haven't forgot you, because the last time you forgot me.'"
Right.
And she said, "Well, we still have 2 people ahead of you." And I said, "Both of those people came in long after me, and I understand how an appointment works. They came in long after me." She puts my folder back up, and she says, "We have 2 people ahead of you." So I walk over and I sit down. You know, I'm trying not to make decisions, you know, right? So I walk over, I sit down, no big deal. I wait about 10 minutes. They call one person back. Wait about however much longer. They call and I'm like, okay, you know, at this point it's 5:15, right? I know what my blood pressure is going to be whenever I'm on there. I don't need all that on my record, right?
Right.
So I leave. Here's the worst part. In my opinion, here's the worst part, but I'm getting to a point here, I promise. So I call Aetna. I don't want to be charged for this, okay? I don't want to, whenever I went up there, so I got charged for the visit for not going back there, right? Because I wasn't going to go up there and say, hey, I want my money back and all that. I'm not that, right? So I leave, but I don't want it charged on my insurance.
Yeah.
So I call Aetna, and I go through prompts on Aetna that take me about 15 minutes, a couple of minutes of waiting here, a couple of minutes of waiting there. Somebody will be with you real soon, all that kind of stuff. It says it's 5:30, and the offices are closed whenever I hit operator the next time, right? So here's this. I swear to God, this is the first thing that popped in my head, because I'm listening to a podcast. It's a really great podcast. It's not Brokers Open podcast, but it's a really good podcast, and one of the things that it's talking about is interruptions in the market, the disruptors in the market, right? And it talks about the value of real estate agents. Technology would treat me just like that receptionist did. Technology would treat me just like Aetna did. And I don't think this was Aetna's fault. That was just circumstances.
A bystander.
Right. So that is how technology will treat you.
Yeah.
That's how technology is going to treat a seller when they go out to the house. That's how technology is going to treat them. That's how somebody that is in Washington is going to treat somebody in Tampa that is trying to list their house with them, right? Mm-hmm. That's how all that's going to play out.
Yeah.
You can't convince me it's not.
Right. I agree.
Until they figure out a way to truly care. So what you said was, this podcast isn't for people that don't look at things a certain way. This podcast is for people that are concerned with the customer.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
Putting them first.
We want it to be a great experience for them, not just job security-wise for us, but, man, that's how I want to be treated.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying for something if I know that the value I got was more than what I paid for. I love paying for things like that. That's who we are.
And there's so many realtors out there, especially in the state of Florida, and people get all hell-bent on that. And we talked about this in the past about, this is your competition and whatnot. But, really, if you're in this for the long run, this is an industry standard type of thing. Customer service is first and foremost, and it really, I think at the end of the day, it also, kind of shows who you are on the inside anyway.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
It's a direct reflection of your compass.
Right.
So.
Completely agree.
Quick, easy ways there.
Yep. So follow up and follow through on whatever leads are. They can be different. If you're a team lead, that's probably when you want to start looking at purchasing leads. You probably want to have
leverage
somebody,
all that.
Right. Somebody that's kind of keeping up with what's going on with the leads and everything, so that your sales staff is acting like your sales staff, and your qualifying staff is acting like qualifying staff, instead of trying to make everybody do all things running inside of a singular system. But another podcast about that. But there's a lot of different ways. There's never a shortage on how to get business. There really is a lot of opportunities. We didn't talk about for sale by owners and expireds. We didn't even touch on. We didn't even touch on that.
There's so many cost-effective ways to do it. Just get creative, and there's simple ways just based on your personality and where your strengths lie, and maybe where your past is career-wise or whatever it might be. Figure out what gels for you. And you'll make it work, but you just got to constantly improve every day, and you're going to make those things work.
So if you need money now, a key takeaway here is, if you need money now, don't do a whole bunch of future business activities. Do more of the now business activities, but have a balance, because the now business activities, they take more time, and they take more focus, and they take more persistence and more follow-up.
Yeah.
The future things can be automated a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a podcast that we could have, is time versus money versus follow through.
That's a good one.
So but you want to make sure that if you really are trying to make money immediately, that you're not doing a bunch of future business, right?
Correct.
So don't go buy web leads. Do you like this house or do you like this house, and think that you're going to make $3 million in volume that year. I mean, that's just not gonna. That isn't the way that works. You got to have a very solid system.
All right, gang. So think about that. Think about the use of the funnel, the top, the middle, and the bottom. Think about the daily activities that you can do that are going to bring business to you today. And then we obviously there's a ton of different top of funnel leads, but we're not talking about that now.
That's right. So what we are talking about right now is you liking and subscribing. Got to like and subscribe. Share this. If you know somebody that this would help, should they share this with somebody that they think it would help?
Share. Type their name in the comments. Go on YouTube, Facebook. We're on iTunes. Please share it. That means the world to us. We spend the time because we want to make you guys better, and the only way that we actually can provide value is if we're in front of a lot of people. So we appreciate you sharing and commenting and liking. So
absolutely. So we love it. Let us know what we can do. Comment about anything we need to talk about. Peace.
Peace.